right, so today we're going to talk about the core principles of the Pilates method and why they are so important, not just in the movement, but we need them in everyday living. So key. So the first one's concentration. All right, so I can't concentrate because the noise is going on. I can't concentrate because I have too much work to do. So we've all heard concentration. But how does that apply to movement, and how do you perfect your concentration? How do you start to have a keen sense of awareness in your concentration? So concentration in your movement is key. It is being aware of how you're positioned on your mat. If we're talking Pilates, how are you aware of how you're sitting in the car? Are you able to focus, which is concentration, on the task at hand? So being in a state of concentration awareness while you are moving your body is going to help you perform better. You're going to have better movement and alignment when you are able to concentrate. So concentration. All right, moving along, we're going to go to centering. So centering, we all know what a center point is, but how does that apply to movement? How does that apply to your state of being? Well, some of you may know, some may not, but centering is when you can truly align with your center core point, right? So in the movement practice of Pilates, we refer to your center is just below your navel, right? So just below your navel, about a fingertip or about a finger or two fingers, you're going to find your core center. And so that is really where you start to focus on when you're thinking of the center point of your body. So we also refer to your center as your abdominals. So it's definitely more than just the abdominal connection. That's not just your center. You really want to access that really low, deep transversus abdominis, which the thick band just below the navel is really what we're referring to when we say find your center. Okay. Or you can find your center in balance, right? So either you're going frontal or you're leaning or back. So it's like really being able to align yourself. That's how I refer to as your center, and always being able to bring yourself back into that center point. All right. The next one is going to be control. So control may have a negative connotation in the mind that you think I'm not going to be controlled and I don't want to try to control. We want to be free and we want to be flowing. Yes, but you have to have a sense of control, boundaries, or you will be out of control. So what does that look like? If you're out of control in your movement, you may be moving in outside of your range of motion that's healthy. So when you're able to control your movement and be aware, concentration, centering, and then control, when you're able to control within the boundaries of what's right for you, you're going to have better movement. You're going to have better alignment and all of the above that's going to help you achieve that mental clarity, mental wellness that we're referring to in this masterclass. Okay, so we have concentration, we have 3 C's: concentration, centering, and control. All right, so let's move along into precision. So precision, being very precise with your movement. And, I just think of it as, when Joe Pilates, if you watch any of his videos, don't ask that you go and nerd out like I do, but he's very precise with his movement. Or if you look at any top athlete, they're very precise with their movement. It's almost let's think of a boxer. If they're not precise with their target, with their motion out, they're going to miss it. So it's really looking for that really keen precision in your movement again, is going to go back to, now the word's going to start, seeing it, you're going to start hearing it a lot more, is the alignment. Being able to be precise and following it with all the 3 C's, you're going to find that you're going to be working in alignment, which is going to serve your body and your mind much better. All right. Then we have breath. So in my view, I don't know why breath always comes towards the end here, but breath should be at the beginning, because breath is the first act of life. Breath is the key, in my view, to any successful movement. If you don't have a healthy relationship with your breath, you are likely, number one, not feeling well, not performing well in all areas of your life. But number two, you are not moving your body correctly. So if your breath is, let's just use an example of shallow, being stuck in your thoracic or your chest breathing, let's just refer to it as that, or even throat, then you're going to be anxious. You're not going to be settled into the motion. You're not going to be settled. You're not going to be able to concentrate and be in control of all your movements. You're not going to be centered if your breath is not centered. So the breath is key. Number one, we've got to start with the breath. All right. And the last one, which in my view is just that ultimate goal that we all want to get to, is that state of flow. So we've all watched some dance or some rhythm where you can see they're just in a state of flow. There is no harsh stop. There's no hard stop. It's just a very natural and organic flowing gesture. Let's look at the ocean, how it flows. It flows so beautifully. When the wind is blowing a tree and you see how the leaves are just blowing and flowing in the breeze, I put whatever image that you want to that state of flow. But when your mind and body are in a state of flow, your life is going to be in a state of flow. And what does that look like? It is a life that is filled with vigor and no anxiety and no stress, and you don't have mental fog. You are just like clipping along. You've got a lot of energy. You're just snapping it. You're like, yes, I've got this. That is a state of flow where you're not falling into a hard stop, falling down. And a lot of the times it's very hard to get back up if you have fallen down. We've all experienced that. It's part of being human. But when you learn these 6 really key core principles of the Pilates method, and you start to apply them into daily acts of living, you are going to have life humming along, as we all should have. We all should have. Because then what it really boils down to, you guys, is that you've regulated your nervous system. That's not an easy task. That's not easy at all. And if we all had a regulated nervous system, we would not be having the world's problems that we currently have. But it is possible to get very, very close to having a fully regulated nervous system. So we're going to talk a lot more about that throughout the masterclass. But for now, we're going to leave it at that. We're leaving it with the 6 core principles of the Pilates method that can have you overcoming so much dis-ease in your life and living a life filled with joy, vigor, and optimism. Lauren McLaughlin, Conscious 7. So glad you joined. We'll see you next time.